There are many ways demons get attached to people. I am a strong believer that if we educate ourselves on the spirit realm, we will be less likely to engage in certain activities that we think is normal everyday life things, but is literally attached to spiritual demonic forces. The biggest thing is anything that alters your mind, anything that alters your thinking, alters the way you would normally act, alters the way that you would normally speak and your responses, your body, anything that takes full control over your body, that is one indication that you are no longer in control, but a certain spirit has entered your body. So anything that alters your mind, if you know what I mean. The biggest thing is when we are drunk, when we're drinking liquor. I told y'all, the world tells us everything. That's why it's called wine and spirits. There are many other things that, everybody and their mama doing it. Y'all doing it like y'all drinking water. I can't say the name of it. Y'all use your imagination what I'm talking about. Anything that brings intoxication, what happens is the spirit realm of it, once you engage in it, you come into agreement with it. Once you come into agreement with it, you are now have entered into that spiritual realm, that kingdom of darkness realm. So you are now removed, and the spirit that you came into agreement with has now entered your body and is now operating as if it was you. That's why you notice when people are in that realm and they're gone out of their mind, they begin to have certain experiences where they're seeing things and things are happening, and it's not just altering your mind. What's happened is you are now entered into the kingdom of darkness because you came into agreement with a demonic spirit. And I always like to tell people if you would understand the magnitude of what you are doing, it will completely stop the desire of your heart when you see the full scope of it. Anything that is telling you your future, it is bringing demons into your life. I get a lot of people who send me messages on here and they'll say, "Can I tell you what I sense?" I immediately delete them and block them, because anything that is not the Spirit of God, it's asking for your permission. That's why I don't fool with people who say, "Can I prophesy to you?" Why are you asking? Because the Spirit of God is authoritative. It knows its place. The Spirit of God is just going to give you the prophetic word. It doesn't have to ask you, because the Spirit of God has full control over this realm, over this world. But demons know that they have to ask permission because they have no power. Sidebar, that's why I don't let anybody prophesy to me, especially if the Holy Spirit, if it's not agreeing with me. I'm going to stop whoever's prophesying, because once you come into agreement with that word, a lot of times when people go to these mediums, these psychics, and they do all this root work and all this stuff telling their future because they want to know, that is literally demons trying to come into your life and have you come into agreement with something that God never intended for your life. Of course, there are many other ways of sin in people's life where demons enter. Another big one is unforgiveness. And you see this through people emotions. Satan use an act that someone does that damage and may hurt somebody, and the issue or the thing that hurt them, they will carry it. They will not forgive the person. And what happens is it takes root in your heart. That's why people don't want to forgive, because once it takes root inside of your heart, you've allowed that evil spirit to connect to you. Even when we watch different movies, that's another entryway where demons will come and attach themselves to people, and people are so unaware and we don't know. There are movies, there are TV shows where literal witches and warlocks have been on set, have been doing real chants that are real witchcraft things, and we don't even understand, and we go and we watch these horror movies and different things and wonder why we are dealing with certain thoughts mentally, and we start feeling certain ways. It's because we've came into agreement with these movies and these TV shows. Because we're gonna expose the enemy today. All his words, because he be irritating me, he get on my nerves. I think the biggest one that most majority of people deal with is these intrusive thoughts. And so many times we overlook it, and we don't realize that if we are constantly having certain specific thoughts in our minds, that there is a demon or a spirit that is attached to you. You have to find, where did it come from? What entry? What brought it? Where did it come from? Anytime you're dealing with different thoughts in your mind and you're constantly battling in your mind, there was an entryway. It could have came from fear, it could have came from doubt, it could have came from anything. But whatever you did, you had an open door, and now you constantly battle the mental thoughts, the intrusive thoughts, the thoughts of inadequacy. There are so many thoughts that plague our minds. That is literally demons in spiritual warfare. The biggest one is music. You do not know what the artist is doing on the other side of that track, what they were doing in the studio while recording this. You don't know their spiritual practices. A lot of times these artists have demons and things that they deal with, and these demons are speaking, singing, and writing through them, and we are singing these lyrics and don't even understand that the person that is writing the song could have been dealing with a demonic spirit. That's why foundation is key, and understanding the source. I'm big on that. What's the source? Where did it come from? What is the foundation of this song? What is the foundation of this artist? What is the source? Love Justin Bieber, not talking about him, not dragging him, but he has a song on his album, and every time I will come to the song, when I used to listen to secular music, the name of the song is called Lonely. And baby, when he would hit that word lonely, I felt it in my gut. I was like, this man of God is lonely, because I felt it. And it gave me such a, so I would always skip that song because I knew it was a spirit attached to the child. Was a spirit of loneliness. He definitely had the spirit of loneliness. So now we're listening to these different songs and wondering why we having thoughts and feelings. I'm alone. I don't have anybody, because there were spirits attached to it. I can do a part 2. I could make this a series. If you guys love this video, just let me know. I can go a lot deeper with some other different spiritual interactions and spiritual things. I think we did unforgiveness and other things. But this is how people this is how demons gain access in your life, and why we must walk through deliverance through the Spirit of God when we are dealing and we are coming into agreement with these things, the things of the world. Let me know down below if you want me to make it a series.